All right. Good evening and welcome to the July 16th, 2025 meeting of the Falmouth Conservation Commission. This meeting is being held virtually via Zoom conference and is being broadcast by FCTV on cable channel 9. As this meeting is being recorded by Zoom and broadcast by FCTV, please be cognizant of what you say, how you say it, and what can be heard or seen in your background. We have a full complement of commissioners tonight. Thank you all for your dedication. I'd like to remind the commissioners that for commenting, I will call on each one of you in turn, so please refrain from speaking over each other. Also, all votes are done by roll call. So when I call your name, please state your name and your vote for the record, even if you made a motion or a second. To our public attendees, at any time during this meeting, you may enter any comment or question via the chat function. At the appropriate time, they will be read into the record. If, as an attendee, you'd like to participate in the particular hearing, let us know via the chat function. Then at the appropriate time, you will be promoted into the hearing as a participant. When you are selected, you must have your video enabled, be succinct, and respectful of others. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes each. Regarding RDAs, under a request for determination of applicability, the applicant is asking the commission to determine if the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act and or the Falmouth Wetlands Bylaw apply to their proposed project. A negative determination is that the provision or the act or the bylaw do not apply. Therefore, the project may proceed as proposed. A positive determination means the provisions of the act and or the bylaw do in fact apply and or may require some conditions. Therefore, the project will require a notice of intent application. So as an applicant, what you want to hear is a negative determination. For the benefit of anyone waiting for a particular hearing tonight, and so that you are not waiting unnecessarily, the following hearings are expected to be continued. Under RDAs, it would be Lot 86, Ormond Drive Realty Trust, 18 Ormond Drive, Falmouth, Mass., and Goldman Bridgewater Realty Group, 41 Nauset Ave, East Falmouth. Under our hearings of a notice, 40 is Joshua Cadoza, 40 Mary Manuel Way, Falmouth, Mass. Is continued or requested to be continued. Nathan Holcomb, 270 Sippawisset Road, Falmouth, Mass. Is also continued. Joanne Burke, trustee, 5 North Chop Nominee Trust, East Falmouth, is also continued. All right, so first up this evening, to vote the minutes of the June 25th hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I reviewed the minutes and I'd move approval pending any comments this evening. Patton.
Bird, second.
Okay, we have a motion by Steve and a second by Court to move the minutes. All those in favor, I'm going to call the roll. Sorry. Courtney.
Bird, aye.
Ron Driscoll.
Driscoll, aye.
Steve.
Patton, aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was Steve. I thought that was Dave. Sorry.
Ronnie Bowman.
Bowman, aye.
Bill.
Duffy, aye.
Dave.
And aye.
Okay, we've unanimous on the minutes of June 25th. About July 2nd, 2025.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the minutes of July 2nd. Patton.
Bird, second.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you, Court. We have a motion in a second. I'll call the roll. Courtney.
Bird, aye.
Ron Driscoll.
Driscoll, aye.
Steve.
You muted, Steve.
Okay, Steve's an aye. Ronnie Bowman.
Patton, aye.
Bill Duffy.
Duffy, aye.
and Dave Kent.
And I.
All right, very good. Request for continuance on notice of intent, 40 Emmanuel Way, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to construct a single-family home dwelling with attached garage, Title V sewage disposal system. Alyssa,
The applicant has requested a continuance until July 23rd.
Bird so move.
Driscoll second.
okay, we have a motion and a second to move till July 23rd. I'll call the roll. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Ron Driscoll,
Driscoll I.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ronnie
Bowman,
Bowman,
aye.
Bill,
Duffy, I.
Dave,
And I.
and I'm an aye, so that's unanimous. Continued to July 23rd. All right, requests for determination of applicability. First up is Dave Cleary, 3 Green Harbor Road, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to construct an addition and remove deck. Alan,
Staff recommends a -2 under the state and bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed, and this project solely takes place in an AE flood zone.
Bird so move.
Driscoll second.
okay, we got a motion by Courtney and a second by Ron Driscoll. I'll call the roll. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Ron Driscoll,
Driscoll I.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, I.
Dave.
And I.
All right. Unanimous. So we'll move on. Ormond is continued. And Goldwater Realty Group is continued. Leonard Caruso, 15 Gardner Road, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to install an irrigation well. Down.
Staff recommends a -3 under the state and -2 under the bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed.
Bird so move.
Driscoll second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to accept staff's recommendation. I'll call the roll. Court,
Bird eye.
Ron,
Driscoll I.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, I.
Dave.
And I.
Thank you. It's unanimous that we accept staff's recommendation. All right.
Mr. Chairman, do you need to officially vote the prior 2 continuances for RDAs?
You know what? You're absolutely right. I skipped right over those. Yeah,
Just to be safe.
we do need to know that. We've done Mary Manual, but we haven't done this one. Okay, at least 2. I'm going to go back to Law 86 Ormond Drive, 18 Ormond Drive, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to install a new Title V sewage disposal system. Fallon,
The applicant is requesting a continuance to July 23rd.
Bird so move.
Driscoll second.
okay, got a motion and a second, and call the roll. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Ron,
Driscoll I.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, I.
Dave. Okay, so
And I.
thank you. That's continued until the 23rd. Goldman Bridgewater Realty Group, 41 Nauset Ave, East Falmouth, Mass, for, Falmouth, Mass. Permission to install a new Title V sewage disposal system. Fallon,
The applicant has requested a continuance to August 6th.
Bird so move.
Driscoll second.
okay, we have a motion and a second to continue to August 6th. I'll call the roll. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Ron,
Driscoll I.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ronnie Bowman,
Bowman, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, I.
Dave. Thank you. We have
And I.
continued to August 6th. All right, so we did Gardner Road. Robert Chase, 2 Brockton Street, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to plant bayberry beach plum in an area that is currently lawn. Fallon,
Staff recommends a -3 under the state, -2 under the bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed.
Bird, so move.
Driscoll second.
thank you. We have a motion and a second to accept staff's recommendation. I'm going to call a roll. Court.
Bird, aye.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Steve,
Patton, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Dave.
Grant, aye.
Thank you. Unanimous to accept. Did we, I did 15 Garden Road, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we were all set on that one too. Okay, good. All right, request for a continuance for termination of applicability. Thomas William and Heather Schrimmer Mahoney, trustees, 2 Elysian Ave, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to reconstruct the front porch, reconfigure block walls, install a patio, terrace, and stone steppers, construct a fence and trash enclosure, change the driveway to pavers, and add a cobblestone apron and install a catch basin. Alyssa.
Thank you. Yes, so this was a continued RDA so that the commission could visit the site. I do know that the engineer for the project is in the audience. Jake, I'm not sure if you had a statement to make. If you do, if you can raise your hand. If not, I know that he is here for questions. This was a proposal for work within the buffer to a salt marsh. No mitigation was proposed considering a prior determination made by this commission. So the staff is recommending a positive due to the lack of required mitigation and was leaving it up to the commission to determine how to move forward.
Okay, you said engineers here or somebody the representative?
Yes, Jake from Cape and Islands is here. He doesn't have his hand raised, but if you would like, we can promote him as a panelist if he has anything to add to the conversation.
Yeah, I would just like to see if he has anything to add, that's all.
Sure.
And then we'll,
So we need you're recommending a positive on this.
Simply because it doesn't meet the regulations, but as previously noted, there was a prior determination made by the commission due to the unique nature of the lot. No mitigation was previously proposed for a similar project. This has an expanded scope of work, but just to be consistent, the staff is siding with the regulations.
All right, well, I will place a motion on the table to approve the request, and then we can vote accordingly.
And Jake is here from Cape and Islands if he has anything to say, or if anyone has any questions.
Patton, second.
okay, so we have a motion and a second to a positive motion. I'll tell you, why don't we, Jake, do you have anything?
Yeah, so I guess we, as Alyssa indicated, there was a prior negative determination made for a project at this site, and the unique nature of the lot being, the whole lot is only maybe 3,500 square feet, which is smaller than a lot of the houses that we're proposing these days, and it is separated from the resources by other developed land that's owned by other individuals, as well as a public road. And due to all of those factors, and also the recommendation from staff that we file this as an RDA, that's the process that we're taking here. We understand that this is a really unique situation. There's only maybe, a handful of lots in Falmouth that fall into this sort of circumstance where they are within the buffer of a resource, but they're also separated from that resource by other lots and also a public way. So it's sort of a strange situation, and if the result of this is a positive determination, we would like to get some feedback from the commission on a sort of a more in-depth look at what pieces of this are perhaps acceptable as a negative determination, so that we can adequately advise the client on how to move forward. as you can sort of tell, there's very little space on this lot at all for mitigation. Most of the house is within 10 feet from the sidelines, and so mitigation isn't really a possibility in a general sense. There might be a little few places we could put something, but it's just so constrained. You know, when you've got a 3,500 square foot lot with a 600 square foot house and no space to do anything, it's a unique situation, and we want to understand the commission's position on that.
Okay, thank you, Jake. Court, do you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, I understand the dilemma that he's in, and we have to be mindful of whatever precedents we set by our votes. And so I'm kind of thinking that perhaps we continue this so that we can go out and look at the site and walk it and get some feedback. You know.
We did that, Court. This is the continued hearing.
Yes.
Huh?
It's a
This-
continued hearing, Courtney.
Yeah,
That's what we've done. So
it's done.
no, that's where we're at. That's why we continued it originally. So there was time to walk on it and take a look at it.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get out there for some good reasons.
Yeah, yeah, you had a legit. Ron.
No, I'd like to, just the lot is so tiny, there is no room for mitigation. That's why I wrote, I didn't know I was, we approved this something the first time with no mitigation. I don't see why we can't do it now. I mean, the work's increased a little, but there's no room for mitigation, so
Okay,
that's all I have.
thanks, Ron. Steve?
I agree with what Ron just said.
Thank you, Steve.
Ron Bowman.
I feel the same way.
Okay. Bill?
Add me in with the rest of them. I'm pretty much in agreement with what's going on.
Okay. Dave?
I haven't seen the lot. Perhaps I should have. So I think I should go along with the opinion of the rest.
Okay. So I've got to kind of agree with everybody. That it seems to be a problem. Melissa, did you have anything?
Really nothing else to add. I think the situation kind of speaks for itself.
Okay. Well, so Courtney's made a motion, and that would be to allow would be a negative, right?
Correct.
And staff has recommended a positive. So why don't we vote on this? And it's going to be a yes vote would be for a negative determination. A no vote would be for the positive. So everybody agree with that?
Okay.
Okay. So I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to call the roll and let me know yay or nay. Courtney.
Bird, no.
Driscoll, aye.
Well, thank you. Steve Patton.
Pat and I.
Ronnie Bowman.
Bowman, aye.
Bill.
Duffy, aye.
And Dave.
Can't I?
Okay, and I'm a no. So by a vote of 5-2, a negative determination has been moved by the board. All right, takes care of that one.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you. Have a good evening, all.
All right, Jake. Bye now. All right, continued request for a hearing under a notice. All hearings of the Falmouth Conservation Commission are held simultaneously under the authorities of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act and the Falmouth Wetlands Bylaw. Although a single decision of the commission is issued, It represents a separate decision under each authority. And first up tonight, okay, we read this already, Mary Emanuel. So this next one up is Susan and Brian O'Connor, 152 Saganessa Road, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to conduct invasive species management and to prune deadwood, and for the after the fact approval of a gravel driveway and a stone wall. Alyssa.
Yes, I'm promoting Brett Crummins and Peter White from Zen Associates to present their continued project.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, everyone. Last week we had met and discussed further staking take place at the limit of work. I can share my screen here in a second. Please hold. If everyone can see that.
Yep.
This you are familiar with. The only addition is that, and I will get into this, the mitigation planting to occur at that retaining wall. But staking occurred last Thursday in the lower section here, as you see where the red lines are. And I was able to meet Alyssa and Jennifer on site on Friday to actually look at this and see the stakes and make sure everything was in place and get an assessment of the vegetation. And then finally discuss the mitigation planting itself. Currently, right behind the wall, we had installed a few macrophylla hydrangeas and rhododendrons, and we came to the conclusion that if those were removed, that we could install the mitigation planting to account for the 60 square foot retaining wall that's adjacent to it. In this planting, we're proposing 5 high bush blueberry and 5 arrowwood viburnum, both on the Cape Cooperative Extension list, and we'd supply those plants at a size recommended by the extension.
All right, can you
Yes.
Alan, I'm sorry, Alyssa.
Yeah, thank you. So as Brett said, Jen and I did meet out with him last week. We determined an adequate place for mitigation to be installed should the commission approve the after the fact retaining wall. Per the current interpretation of the regulations, the gravel driveway would not require mitigation at this time. We were pleased to see more staking in the field where the crew can definitely see it from any location while conducting the work. And we had just spoken to Brett about the project in general, where if it's approved, you know, the homeowners and Zen Associates could cut back the invasive vegetation for the life of the permit if they would like to expand the scope of work into more of a treatment and full eradication of the invasives. We recommended filing an AOC. The staff is content with conditioning that the plans shown tonight are submitted for the file. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Alyssa. Fallon, any comments from you?
Nothing to add. Thank you.
All right, questions? Courtney?
Alyssa, and this is more directed at you. Are you satisfied with the density of plantings that are being proposed for mitigation? Replacing the hydrangeas and so forth?
Yeah, the ornamentals were only just planted, so we're not displacing any ornamentals really at this point. I did the calculation at 4 feet on center. It's the correct number of plantings.
Okay. I have no other questions.
Thanks, Courtney. Ron?
My other question is a fence. Is that fence for the pool?
Which fence in
the back of the
particular?
property?
The split rail?
The one that goes all the way around, the chain link fence.
Yeah, I would say that's.
Because I know when I looked, it was in the woods.
Yes, I'm not sure the origin of the fence. I do recall when the pool was permitted, there was mitigation planted between the pool and the water side. I wonder if that was the original delineation and it's just become really overgrown since then. I don't think it's directly a pool fence. I'm not sure if it really even holds a purpose at this point, but I don't think it has a true purpose right now.
We should just leave it there, leave as is? I'll take it out or anything? Okay.
It's
All
up
right,
to
I'm
you
all
guys.
set. Thanks.
Steve Patton.
No additional questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Ronnie?
No comment.
Bill, I'm sorry.
No worries. No questions.
Dave?
I'm all set.
Okay, I don't have anything. What's your pleasure? What would you like to do?
I'll make a motion to close the hearing and take it under advisement.
Driscoll second.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion by Courtney and a second by Ron Driscoll. Close the hearing and take it under advisement. Any other comments or questions from the board? Any comments from the public, Alyssa?
I see no chats and no hands raised.
Okay, then we'll go ahead and call a roll. Courtney?
Bird eye.
Ron Driscoll?
Driscoll, aye.
Steve Patton?
Pat and I.
Bowman, aye.
Bill?
Duffy, aye.
And Dave? Okay.
Can't I?
By a unanimous vote, we've closed this hearing and take it under advisement. Okay, next up is Nathan Holcomb, 270 Sipawissa Road, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to demolish an existing deck, remove an area of gravel, and construct a screen porch, deck, and garage. Alyssa.
Yes, the applicant is looking to continue this hearing until August 6th.
More information.
I don't have too much more to share with you. I do recall at the original hearing, they were kind of waiting to see what this commission would approve in terms of updating their regulations in terms of gravel. We're not going to get there for a bit. So I don't know what their plan is right now, but I can get more information.
So, all right, so they want to continue this till the 6th of August?
Mhm.
I will make that motion.
Driscoll second.
We have a motion by Courtney and a second by Ron Driscoll to continue this to August 6th. Any other comments or questions from the board? Any comments or questions from the attendees, Alyssa?
Sorry, there's a hand being raised and put down rapidly. Mike Borselli is the engineer. He does have his hand raised. If Courtney, you would like that additional information now, I'll promote him.
Yeah, let's do that.
Sure.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, how are you, Mr. Chairman?
Good, how are you?
Good, I'll be very brief. It was continued for the reasons Alyssa stated, but also it had to have the wetland had to be redelineated because it was older, and LEC did do that. We're going to submit a revised plan that changes the mitigation area. The wetland didn't change by anything measurable, actually, but we have the data sheets for it now, and Crawford Land Management is refining their plan. So we're going to submit a revised plan to you by the 30th of July for a continuation on August 6th.
Sounds great.
All right.
Thank you, Mike.
All right. Anything else? Okay. I don't see anything, so let's go ahead and call a roll. Court.
Bird eye.
Ron.
Driscoll, aye.
Steve.
Pat and I.
Ronnie.
Bowman, aye.
Bill.
Duffy, aye.
Dave.
Can't I?
And I'm an aye, so that's unanimous, and it's continued until August 6th.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think, well, I'm going to read it again, but didn't we read this one the last time? 5 North Chop too?
I don't think we read that one yet.
All right. Joanne Burke, trustee, 5 North Chop Nominee Trust, 5 North Chop Lane, East Falmouth, Mass, for permission to install a pool, patio, and mitigation plantings. Alyssa.
The applicant is requesting a continuance until July 23rd. Revised plans were delivered to the office today.
Bird, so move.
Driscoll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions by the commissioners? Anyone in the audience, Alyssa?
Nope.
Okay, cool. So I'll call a roll to continue this till July 23rd. Courtney.
Bird, aye.
Ron Driscoll.
Driscoll, aye.
Steve.
And I.
Ron.
Bowman, aye.
Bill.
Duffy, aye.
Dave. And Russ is an aye. Okay, it's
Pant aye.
Oh, Dave, I'm sorry, Dave. Unanimous, we continue this to the 23rd of July. All right. Request to amend an existing order of conditions. Gary and Janet Vachon, 40 Bridge Street, East Falmouth, Mass. Request to amend the order of conditions for Mass DEP 25-4919 to conduct invasive species management and install a core fiber rolls and salt marsh pillows. Alyssa.
Yes, Mike Borselli of Falmouth Engineering and Angela Tanner of Crawford Land Management are here to present their project.
Awesome. Mike, you're up.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. For the record, Mike Borselli, Falmouth Engineering. I represent the applicant along with Angela Tanner from Crawford Land Management. I'm going to briefly share my screen with you and go over my plan and give you a brief history. You issued an order of conditions for dock repairs. The dock was rebuilt, new pilings were installed, it was modified to elevate it above the salt marsh. An order of conditions was issued for that. At the time that we applied, your staff noticed that some unpermitted stones had been placed on the very low profile coastal bank just to the left, to the right, I should say, of the dock, or just below the dock, this crosshatched area. They asked that, since it wasn't permitted, that we remove it. So as part of that, and to facilitate the issuance of an order for the dock, the owner removed those. A couple of and planted some beach grass. Some significant storms flooded the beach grass and it didn't survive. So we reported to your staff about that. We were hopeful we'd get a certificate of compliance, and we were gonna just do nothing, but they highly encouraged us to try to do something that would stabilize that. So Crawford, the owner, agreed it was a reasonable request. Crawford Land Management was retained. They designed a fiber roll array in that area, and the details and specifications of the fiber roll array and how they're going to stabilize the low profile bank are on their plan. And Angela's here to review that. But before I turn it over to her, the staff report from Alyssa had a few, I'm going to call them minor bookkeeping matters with regard to previous orders of conditions relative to some mitigation planting that needs to be tidied up. I met with Alyssa after I received this, or I called her after I received the staff comments, and I think she agreed they could be handled as conditions of this amended order request. We're hoping so you could close unless there's some other significant issues. And we can meet with Alyssa on site, understand in a little more detail what the mitigation planting concern is, and make it right. That sums up my part of the presentation, and I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to turn it over to Angela.
Hello, Angela Tanner from Crawford Land Management for the record. I am going to share my screen if that's okay.
Please do.
So can you see the PDF?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so this is, it has a overall site plan with the area down here that Mike indicated where we need the erosion control. And there's one small difference on our plan from his plan. It looks like we're proposing coir fiber roll installation on the south side, a double row, actually a triple row right in one spot, and it dwindles down to 2 rows where you hit the dock. And then we do have 1 roll extending, 2 rows extending on the other side. So it's basically, if I can show you the section here, this section shows that in some locations we have it 3 wide, but only where we need it. And then in that same location, we're proposing a couple of salt marsh pillow restoration areas with a snow fence here to kind of help this whole area in here be revegetated with salt marsh grasses. We have also proposed at the top here, there's some invasive vegetation. It's actually a mix of invasive and native vegetation. So we would be keeping all of the native vegetation and just supplementing it with a few more native shrubs in order to make sure that the top of that is stabilized. And there's a little blow up plan of that over here, just in case. And the plant list, you can see we have, as far as the shrubs go, we have bayberry and high tide bush, and then we have a pretty good mix of different salt marsh grasses and some wildflower perennials for the top. I can stop sharing and answer any questions.
All right. Thank you, Angela. Alyssa?
Thank you. Yeah, as Mike said, once he received the staff report, we did go through some of the comments. I'm not sure how I missed it the first time during this review, but I did notice that there were just a couple areas where the mitigation from previously required projects was not present on the site. So I can go through that with Mike. I think it would be perfectly fine for the board to condition that unless you would like to see it all drawn up on the plan before approving it. There were only 2 other notes for Mike in terms of just adding a couple hardscapes to the plan and just extending that edge of natural vegetation so we can help determine how much vegetation that was previously required is still on site. But that's all I have for now. Thank you.
All right, Alyssa, thank you. Fallon?
I've got nothing to add. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go backwards on the list here. Dave, any questions, comments?
No questions.
Bill?
I have no questions.
Ronnie?
Angela, have you had a lot of success with this application, preserving that?
The fiber rolls.
Yes.
I would say yes. It's not a long-term solution, unless the vegetation is successfully established, but it's, in my opinion, a better solution than the riprap. So it's really hard to replant that area without getting something in there to stabilize it first.
All right, that's all for me.
Thanks, Ronnie. Steve?
Oh, thank you, Angela and Mike, for responding. Appreciate it.
Ron Driscoll?
Yeah, I had a question. There's when I was there looking at it, it seems like the beach grass, I guess, didn't last. The previous attempt to stabilize it didn't last just because of the flooding. It doesn't appear that it's a heavy wave action area. It just salt water must have killed the grass and just washed away the sand. Right next to that area, along the lot line, is a bunch of stones that look like they've been there forever, and it looks like they're doing a damn fine job of keeping the area stable. Are we just being too elaborate here? I know it looks like a great, only a short-term solution. It looks like those stones have been there for a long time, and they're doing a job on the lot next door. And it's the same lot, the same indent from the water. That's my comment, is if anyone can answer that.
I can try to answer that. So the neighbor to the south, yes, he has that stonework, and it's similar to what Mr. Bacon had, but we don't believe there's any permitting. That it wasn't permitted. And I think that's what your staff was concerned about originally, that it wasn't permitted. That originally, meaning when we did the dock review. And it's general policy to try a soft solution before you go to a hard solution, which was the reason for this. And we're taking directly from Jen's recommendations.
Okay.
We wanted to be cooperative and remove the stone so it didn't impact the permitting for the dock, and the owner's willing to try this, but if it fails, we might, I'm hoping Commissioner Driscoll, you'll remember that and maybe support them.
All right, thank you, Mike. That's all.
Thanks, Ron. Court.
Yeah, on this issue of hardscape, you know, I believe there's regulatory requirements that go back to the state that say that if a coastal bank that was not retained by a stone wall prior to what, 1978 or something,
Yeah.
you can't use that now. So, or are really restricted on it. So I think, you know, doing the softscape approach is the right one. You know, sometimes, Ron, I agree with you, you know, some of these things defy logic, but
This one does.
but we're actually I mean, we're faced with the whole issue of sea level rise and all of that stuff. This is going to become more and more and more of an issue for this commission and all coastal regions. You know, it's not an easy solution, you know. So that's my 2 cents. And the only other question I have, which is not related to this, you're going to remove some invasives, and Angela, what are your techniques are you going to do there?
So we are, I just want to make sure that I have the right project here because it's pretty typical. We basically use like a cut and wipe method. So we don't pull out the full shrub by the roots. We just cut it and then we treat it with an herbicide so that we can keep the bank stable while we're working in there.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty effective method. Yeah. Plus it's not as disruptive as just going in there and tearing everything out. Now you
Right.
really got to reestablish all your plants and everything. Okay.
Exactly.
I have no other questions.
Thank you.
So are we at a point where we need a motion on?
Public.
Russ, this is Dave Kent. I have one more question after what Ron said.
I was just going to go to
Okay.
where you got, Dave?
It's kind of goes after Ron's comment. I mean, is there a pretty good chance overall here that this won't work? I think Angela almost referred to that, or somebody referred to it. We hope this works. Is there a decent chance this simply won't work?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what the weather conditions are while you're trying to establish the plants. So that's why we typically will obviously put it in as stable as we can, but while the plants are being established, just make sure that it stays intact during storms. And there's not much you can do if there's a huge storm that comes and wipes out the plants except to replant them. So
Well, that makes me
until they're established.
Yeah, that makes me feel sort of like Ron Driscoll. You know, that I mean, there is an approach that seems to work there, but it's kind of unfortunate we're not sure if it'll work. You know, because I don't think it's cheap. It's not going to be cheap for the applicant, is it?
No.
No,
Yeah.
but this is a standard soft solution practice that if you really babysit and do everything you can to try to keep it stable, tighten up on the tiebacks. If you see any issues, them loosening, try to keep the vegetation going. Mother Nature's going to be what she does if we get the right perfect storm direction. Commissioner Driscoll did comment that it seems fairly protected. It is pretty protected, except for like one direction from the southeast. and there's a little bit of a fetch across Green Pond, but there were a couple storms 2 Decembers ago where areas got whacked pretty good like this. And Commissioner Byrd is correct. You're supposed to have a compelling argument for a hard solution and demonstrate that the house has existed since prior to 78, which it has. It's supposed to be immediately threatened, which that's sort of subjective. And you're supposed to try a soft solution. That's pretty much my experience. So we're hopeful it'll work, but we can't. There's no guarantees with storms.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dave. Anything else from the commission?
Just one question. Would the use of jute netting over the sand, which would allow all the beach grasses to get established that might hold it, would that be helpful, you think?
Yeah, there is a plan to have, I'm trying to figure out the exact spec. There is a plan to have additional blanketing, biodegradable blanketing in there.
Yeah, okay.
All right, thanks, Court. Alyssa, is there any questions from anyone in the participants?
Nothing in the chat and no one with their hand raised.
All right,
I'll make a motion to close the hearing and take it under advisement.
Driscoll second.
all right, we got a motion by Courtney and a second by Ron to close the hearing, take it under advisement. Call the roll. Courtney.
Bird eye.
Ron.
Driscoll aye.
Steve.
And I.
Ronnie.
Bowman, aye.
Bill.
Duffy, aye.
Dave.
Kent, aye.
Robbins is an aye. Okay, we've closed this hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Have a good night.
All right, request for the certificate of compliance. Karen Olcott, trustee, Small Cottage Nominee Realty Trust, 141 Bay Road, Falmouth, Mass. Requests for a certificate of compliance for Mass DEP 25-4746 in, Alyssa.
Thank you. Yes, I've just promoted the homeowner here, Miss Alcott. She is requesting a certificate of compliance from the commission tonight. We've been working with her throughout the process, and there's just one outstanding matter that the staff was unable to support to grant compliance. The project overall, for those who weren't a part of the commission at that time, was a house reconstruction, a septic upgrade, as well as some landscaping and mitigation planting. Everything has been well accomplished. The only outstanding matter was there was some additional gravel installed south of the home. And working with Ms. Alcott throughout this process, I do know that the gravel from the Zone A has been relocated. So right now there is simply additional gravel in the Zone B. Due to the commission's current interpretation of the regulations, staff informed Ms. Alcott that she could speak with you guys today in an attempt to, I won't use the word amend because we're not amending the permit, but sort of allow for the extra gravel on the south side of the house to remain without mitigation. She has installed a lot of plantings and would prefer to not install any more. She also likes the gravel on that side. So the staff's recommendation would be to hear Ms. Alcott's statement, ask any preliminary questions, and then continue the matter so that the commission can visit the site with Ms. Alcott's permission to see the area for themselves and make an informed decision at the next available hearing.
All right, thank you, Alyssa. Fallon, did you have anything?
I do not have anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Fallon. Good evening, Ms. Alcott.
Hi there.
There you are, okay.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Karen Alcott. I'm the owner of 141 Fay Road. And as Alyssa said, I've been working with conservation since 2020. on my property and working cooperatively with them. This property has been in my family since 1921, and I feel very much a steward of the trees and the rock stone walls and the dune and the coastal bank, and have tried to be accommodating on anything that's been suggested. So I did plant, as Alyssa said, all the plants that were required. In fact, I have a 32 square foot. I exceeded the plant count by 32 square feet. And worked with many professionals at great care and expense over the last number of years. When Alyssa came to do the inspection on May 20th, we just did discuss this utility alley. I had put pea gravel there. It was not designated on the original permit as to how it should be handled. When I worked with my builder and the various other fire departments, et cetera. It seemed like a stone gravel would be the best way for that sort of walkway past ACs and generators. And so that is what I put in. I didn't think it was a mistake. I just thought that it would be practical for drainage and for fire prevention, et cetera. And then when Alyssa came and said, that I did get confirmation from my surveyor that only zone A had to be removed. So I did work with a landscaper to remove the pea gravel from zone A. You can see on the land and in the document that I sent you that it kind of bisects the walkway and in front of a window for the house. So it looks kind of ugly, but I tried to do what was asked of me. And that was confirmed by the surveyor, Tom Bunker, that he spoke to Jen and said that there was no mitigation required in Zone B on that section. So I proceeded, thought everything was great, and then he got a call from Jen about 3 weeks, 2.5 to 3 weeks later, saying a mistake was made, and basically backtracked and asked me to address Zone B. I wanted to reach out to you all directly as I've been working. I feel a very big steward of my property and wanting to maintain what's healthy for my house and fire protection, as well as walkways so that we don't disturb more of the land. This area in the Zone B that has been described is on the other side of the property from the coastal bank, and really is, I think kind of effective as a walkway. If we could keep it in pea gravel. That was on the permit, on 2022 permit, the regulation seemed to indicate that that was not an issue. So I would ask for you to ask me questions and see if we can come to some resolution, because I've been at this for now 5 years, and I'd like to move on if we could. And you're welcome to come see the location if you'd like to. It looks very odd. It doesn't look very good. It bisects a window that goes down to the ground level. But I'm trying to do what has been asked of me. I've spent a lot of time and money on this, and to have things change after the fact is annoying, but I understand that, and I just want to work cooperatively with you all. I love this land, and I intend to leave it for my subsequent generations with the same sort of stewardness that I've had in my family for the last 100 years. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Alcott. Ms. Alcott. Questions for the commissioners? Courtney.
So I looked at the pictures, and obviously I need to be on the site to see it a little better. But what's the length of that gravel walkway originally, before you had to put, what is it, mulch in there?
I put mulch in Zone A. I think it was on the original plan. It's about. So are you asking from where I put the mulch in, or where the pea gravel is today?
Mm-hmm. But I mean, in other words, what's the length of the mulch area?
The length of the mulch area, I would say, just off the top of my head, is probably about 15 feet long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
By about 10 feet. There is a hedge that goes over it. So I took it back right to the A line, and then the gravel that goes back to that gate, if you can see it on the plan that I gave you. I don't have my ruler with me, but it's probably about 20 feet, 25 feet. I'm not quite sure. The thing that concerns me is that, I get one direction from the building code people to keep, a 3-foot gravel around any AC and generators and that kind of stuff. And that would mean that in that one section, the sort of corridor that we're talking about is about 2 feet wide. And the whole thing looks really wonky, I have to say. I would much rather for it to be all pea gravel, and certainly in front of those windows seems to be, you don't want things flying up from traffic, et cetera. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to answer what I've been asked to do, and I'm looking for relief on that zone B to keep it gravel, just for ease and for drainage and for sort of protection for the house.
So how wide is it there, right there by the windows?
It's
Say
about
from the edge of the windows to the other side of the pea stone.
Yeah, it's about 10 feet.
Okay.
It's about
And
10.
so my concern as a contractor is that, having that mulch right in front of a window is
Yeah.
problematic. And
Yeah. Yeah.
at the very least, the solution might be to allow some stone, maybe 2 or 3 feet wide, so that you have stone where the windows are, and then beyond that you can leave the mulch. I don't know. I have to look at
That would be,
look at it.
Courtney, that would be my preference as well, because it looks odd and I don't want anything to, that's transition area, even though there's a wooden barrier in there. It makes the danger to the window that much more
Yeah.
susceptible.
Well, that's the concern I have. Yeah.
Plus it looks awkward. I mean, it looked much better when you had gravel all the way down, but I understand zone A is like you do not cross. And so I'm hoping that we can get a better transverse line and the gravel where it's doing its rightful job, and it's a corridor. I have landscapers come down that way. And I don't have any stepping stones or any of that other kind of stuff. I get weeds in that pea gravel all the time. So it is pretty pervious to me. So
How deep is the pea gravel?
right now it's about, I don't know, 3 inches,
Oh, okay.
something like
So that's
that.
why you get the weeds through it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, I'm out there weeding all the time.
Well, it gives you something to do in retirement. I have no other questions.
Thanks, Court. Ron?
I just think this is a combination. We get building codes or whatever recommendations against Conservation Commission versus practicality. I'm for practicality. So that's all I have to say.
Steve?
Yeah, I'm firmly convinced there's a unique effort to try to make this property ecologically presentable, as well as within as close as possible to our codes. I'm comfortable with the current status.
Ronnie?
This is Alcott. Thank you for being proactive and working with the staff. And I'm in agreement with Steve and Ron on the situation. So that's it for me.
Thanks, Ron. Bill?
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with the rest of the commissioners. I'd definitely like to have a chance to go take a look at it with my own eyeballs, but I feel good.
Dave?
Is that Dave?
Yes, Dave. Yep.
What Karen says sounds very reasonable to me. I would like to see it though.
Okay. Fair enough. Any comments from the participants? Alyssa, anyone?
No chats and no hands raised.
All right. So I guess we're gonna we're looking for a motion to continue so the commissioners can go have a look, or a a motion to close it.
So I'll make a motion to continue this for 1 week. Does that give us enough time?
Take a look, yeah.
To continue for 1 week to allow us to go and
Driscoll second.
inspect and put our 2 cents worth in.
That'd be the
Ms.
23rd.
Alcott, does the 23rd work for you? If they were to continue?
I'll make it work.
Okay.
I would love to be here when you guys come by so I can show you and we can have a discussion so we're not wasting everybody's time anymore. But that would be fine on the 23rd.
People are gonna go when they can go. So, I mean, it's not like
Okay.
a group is gonna show up at one time, so.
Okay,
And, you know, that becomes a problem. If we have a quorum there, or if we have more than, you know, we can't do that. So.
okay. Well,
yeah.
Yeah,
Members,
we'd have to advertise that if that was something that everyone wanted to participate in.
so
Yeah.
we'll catch it. I mean, they can pretty much see it anyway.
Okay.
I did have one quick question for you. So who said that, that you had to have gravel around certain pieces of equipment? I'm just curious, because you kept mentioning fire protection, but
yeah, there's a Massachusetts fire code that asks for 3 feet of, they suggest pea gravel, in addition to the pad of an AC or a generator. And so if you take that line out, it's a Massachusetts code. I don't have the number in front of me.
right, but that's a recommendation, right? That's a recommendation. That's not a shall be.
I'd have to go look at the language, quite honestly, but you know, I did know that I had to make changes with a window on a garage because of the generators there. And I had to take the operable part of the window out. You're probably familiar with that.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, you know, there was a tension as to what that material was going to be. I honestly didn't think the pea gravel was an issue. I had seen it in other places, and I never occurred to me, especially since it wasn't on the original plan. And, you know, I don't feel like I was violating anything. It was just nondescript. And quite honestly, I would like to make sure that I don't have any infestation. I've got good drainage, that it looks reasonable for the long term, because right now it looks pretty wacky. So I appreciate if people could come and take a look at it, and if we could come up with a positive solution that works for everyone.
Sounds like a plan. Okay, thank you very much. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Anyone else? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to call the roll to, and this is to continue till the 23rd. How's the 23rd looking, Alyssa? Are we jamming ourselves for that? Or?
So for the 23rd, we actually have no new notices.
Okay.
It looks like all the continued notices will be continued again. It looks very light, so I think you guys are good.
So we're not, all right, sounds good. All right, so I'm gonna call the roll for a motion to continue the 23rd. That was Courtney, Ron.
Bird eye. Oh, bird eye.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Dave,
And I.
and Robbins is aye also. So that's unanimous. We'll continue to the 23rd. We'll see you then.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, next on the agenda. It's a hearing under an enforcement order. Joseph Misarola, I hope I pronounced that right, trustee, Joseph G. Misarola, Revocable Trust, 2018. 15 Moses Road, Falmouth, Mass, unpermitted enclosure of a rinse station in a velocity zone. Alyssa.
Thank you. Yes, I am promoting the homeowner, Mr. Mirasola, to the Zoom. As noted in the staff report, hello. As noted in the staff report, the staff had received a phone call from someone in the area, so we had stopped by the property. There is a potential for unpermitted work going on. When we did get to the property, the work that was occurring did not require any sort of conservation permit, so that part was fine. I did notice while on site that the rinse station wasn't enclosed. The commission did see this property very recently, and I had been out to the site very recently to look at compliance with the amended order of conditions that was placed on the property and overall compliance for the entire house reconstruction. Staff had asked that the rinse station paneling were to be removed, as this was not approvable in a velocity zone and was a special condition to the original order of conditions. Mr. Mirasola has noted that he's had difficulty with using a sailcloth in the area due to the high winds. So he is before the commission tonight. I do know that he has a couple ideas about potential alternative temporary enclosures for the rinse station. One that he had mentioned was maybe coming up with some kind of retractable paneling. As the commission knows, in a velocity zone, we do try to take great care with not having too many breakaway panels, things that can become debris in high storm events. So potentially this idea of retractable paneling could be a new concept brought to this board. The reason that we've allowed sailcloth in the past is simply because that was proposed at one point, and the commission thought that that was a great compromise as seasonal privacy, while allowing that to be removed during the winter and off season. At this time, being a enforcement hearing, the staff would recommend that after Mr. Mirasola makes his statement and the commissioners ask any questions, to continue the hearing, go out and visit the site, and come up with a determination as to whether the paneling can remain. If the commission is interested in an alternative design, the staff would recommend that a separate proposal via an RDA application is filed with the commission for their full review. That's all I have right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa. Fallon, anything to add?
No, nothing from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Fallon. Mr. Sola, the floor is yours.
Mirasola, yes, thank you.
First
Yeah,
of all,
appreciate everyone hearing me out. So I think, as Alyssa mentioned, I have a very unique property. It's a very small lot. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the New Silver Beach area. We directly face, my property literally faces the southwest prevailing winds. There's nothing breaking the wind barrier from our house. So, the next closest point of land, if you're looking directly southwest, is the island of Cuttyhunk. So needless to say, as you all know and live on the Cape, the winds we get are pretty nasty. We regularly have, 30-mile-an-hour winds. And there's been actually 2 nights now, and we've only been here for 5 weeks, that we've had 60 to 70-mile-an-hour winds. So we had sailcloth across the front. It was fastened by grommets and screws. And on the night of May 31st, it was a Saturday, I was here. The sailcloth ripped off where it connected to the post with grommets and screws. Even before that, with even a 35, 40-mile-an-hour wind, even a 25-mile-an-hour wind, it would still make a ton of noise just flapping back and forth. I don't know if it was a construction issue or what, but we secured it, I thought, fairly well. I'm not a construction guy myself, admittedly. So, and I will say, when Alyssa was here, the work that we were having done also was damaged from that night. I had 2 doors on my storage area on the bottom that's permitted. They were 2 double doors. The wind was so bad that those doors bent off the hinges, and they were flapping against the side of the house. So the work that was being done when Alyssa showed up was I was actually putting in a 140-mile-an-hour sliding glass door so that it couldn't, bend and break, and it would withstand the wind. So, yeah, that's the issue, is sailcloth. And we have privacy issues as well, where, the beach and the beach parking lot is directly adjacent to our property. So, that's pretty important to us. We have young kids that we don't want, being out in the open with a rinse station that's, not fully sealed. So, I would love for some members of the committee to come down, look at our unique property, understand our situation, and hopefully help us find an alternative that, would be amenable.
Thank you, sir. All right. Questions or comments from commissioners? Courtney, we'll start you off.
Without having seen it, is it possible to locate the rinse station on the leeward side of the house so that, the house breaks the wind?
I don't know. I mean, I think you probably could. There'd have to be water lines run and stuff like that. That would be directly the leeward side would be facing the parking lot, which might be a little weird. And then the other side of the house is the front of the house. That's like the front. There's lawn there that, then there's
Yeah.
the main road. I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's a very small lot.
Yeah. I think we need to come and take a look, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to add to, the posts are actually anchored. So I've reviewed some of the regulations around just like what the state will allow for showers. Or rinse stations. It's protected underneath our deck. So it's actually underneath our deck. And then the posts are actually anchored to the house. So this is physically a part of the house. It's not freestanding. This, knowing our neighborhood and how old it is, I literally, my neighbor has a shower that is, I think maybe 35 feet away, that is far more unstable than this will ever be. And, this is not going anywhere. If this goes somewhere, then there's actually going to be houses floating in Buzzards Bay. So I can assure you that my shower would not be an issue should we get, crazy weather.
Yeah. I don't have any other questions. I'm trying to figure out without seeing it, what is there a simple solution?
Yeah, well, a couple things that I was thinking of, and I put in my email to Alyssa, just me and my builder were spitballing, can we create, I know the house that was done in, I want to say it was 8 or 9 years ago when you guys were allowing breakaway panels. My house does not have any breakaway panels, so the hole underneath is open. So we were not allowed breakaway panels, which is fine. We actually like it better. So that kind of worked out. So could you guys permit, just this small enclosure, which is, I don't know, 50 square feet to be breakaway when nothing else is breakaway? We could also design it with panels where we could, basically create metal hooks as inserts, and it'd be maybe 3 or 4 panels that I could put up in the summer and take down in the, fall and winter when we're not using it to create less risk. Or, could we try to put, more enclosure, but have the front entryway be sailcloth? But that way it's enough to where I could actually retract the sailcloth when it's not in use, so that it's not just open during, high wind events, like a less permanent, still using some sailcloth so that it can prevent the flow of water and wind without the permanent, sailcloth entirety of the enclosure that is just impossible to like predict when the weather's going to come and take in or take out.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gord. Ron,
I'm all set, thanks. No questions.
Steve,
I don't have any questions. Feel like I should, but I don't. I can't figure out what to do there. Thank you.
Ronnie,
I'd like to take a look at the property. That's it for me.
Bill,
Yeah, I'm the same. I'd need to take a look at it to be able to make any sort of suggestion.
and Dave.
Yeah, same here. I've got to see the place.
Okay, I kind of cheated. I took a look. I went down and I looked from the public side there by the beach. I was curious. I was in the area. It actually very good looking structure. I hate to see it get torn down. What did you use? Tongue and groove cedar?
Yeah, so the builder, again, we, I respectfully, I apologize. We should have probably gone before the board, but I was, with the doors being mangled, and I just felt like, I was just not in a good place. I was frustrated with the sailcloth. I knew when we built the house that it wasn't going to work because I've owned the property for 6 years now, and I've lived, in New Silver for over 15. But we tried it. But yeah, this is tongue and groove cedar anchored to the house. This thing, for all intents and purposes, is more structurally sound than almost any house in this neighborhood.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's really my biggest problem was the fact that you didn't come down and
Yeah,
just a quick visit, could avoid a lot of stuff.
yeah, I agree.
All right. Yeah, I do encourage everybody to go take a look at it. And so can I get a motion to continue then, I guess?
How long do we want to continue it for?
Yeah, what do you think? What are you looking at, Alyssa?
I mean, we could continue to next week or to the 6th. Mr. Marasola, do you have availability for next Wednesday, the 23rd, or Wednesday, August 6th to rejoin the commission?
I'm actually in Boston the 22nd and 23rd, so I would appreciate the 6th. I could probably have my wife join on the 23rd if you guys really had to have it on the 23rd, but the 6th would be preferable. And then yeah, I would love for whoever to come down. I'd love to be here just to kind of, like the last woman, just kind of, have a discussion about it. Realize that you can't coordinate around my time, but if you guys just give me a heads up, I'm usually, in the area. We work from home during the summers, so.
Yeah, I mean, the 6th should be fine as long as the commission's content with that.
Yeah.
Can I get a motion, please?
Move to continue this hearing or this enforcement order hearing until the 6th of August.
Driscoll second.
Anyway, with Courtney, we have a motion by Courtney and a second by Ron Driscoll to continue this hearing to the 6th. Any other comments or questions? Anything from the participants anywhere, Alyssa?
Nothing in the chat, no hands raised.
Okay, very good. I'm going to go ahead and call the roll. Courtney.
Bird eye.
Ron Driscoll.
Aye.
Steve.
Patton, aye.
Ronnie.
Bowman, aye.
Bill.
Duffy, aye.
Dave.
Not aye.
And Robbins, aye. So we are continuing this hearing, this enforcement hearing until August 6th. Thank you, Mr. Murray.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you hearing me out. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Next up is vote orders of conditions. And first is Kristen and Owen Bard, 110 Alder Lane, Falmouth, Mass. Alyssa.
Yes, so this project was brought before you kind of in twofold. Part was for after the fact permission for invasive species removal throughout the property and proposed restoration of the square footage. They're also going to be rebuilding the existing decks, redoing the patio under the deck, redoing some timber stairs on the side yard, rinse station. Overall, the staff was supportive of the plan brought to you. I did have a discussion with Tim from Merrill. There was a small section of removed vegetation that was unaccounted for, so he will be adding that to the plan. I know there were some questions about pruning on the property. Tim had also mentioned that the homeowner might revisit for a proposed vista, so that'll be addressed at a separate time. The staff had some concerns about the gravel on the side yard, very close to the Phragmites prevalent portion of the salt marsh. So they're going to be adding some kind of cobble or edging to keep the gravel on the property from entering the salt marsh. Also, there was a comment requesting tree replacement. Considering the trees being removed, the staff would recommend 2 trees to be reinstalled on the property if the commission was amenable.
All right. Thank you, Alyssa. Fallon, would you like to add anything?
Alyssa said it all. Thank you.
All right, Fallon. All right. What's your pleasure, gentlemen?
I'll make a motion to issue an order of conditions as discussed.
Driscoll second.
Okay, so we have a motion by Courtney and a second by Ron Driscoll to issue an order as discussed. Any other comments? Okay, hearing none, I'm calling the roll. Courtney.
Bird eye.
Ron.
Driscoll, aye.
Steve.
Patton, aye.
Ronnie.
Bowman, aye.
Bill.
Duffy, aye.
Dave.
Not aye.
Robbins, aye. That's unanimous. So you have issued an order of conditions for 110 Alder Lane. Next up is Robert Trainer, trustee, Bridge Street Realty Trust, 34 Bridge Street, Falmouth, Mass. Alyssa.
Yes, this project was quite simple. It's the addition of 2 tie-off piles on an existing licensed dock, in addition to some dock boxes. Everything will be installed via a barge. We heard from the applicant's representative last week that they do have 2 boats and we're having trouble anchoring them. So that's why they need the 2 tie-off piles. Staff had several notes, primarily in relation to another order on the property. Staff can certainly work with the applicant's representative to address those. We just wanted to make them part of the record, as some of these are violations of the order. I think that does it at this point.
All right. Fallon?
Nothing to add. Thank you.
Thank you. Court?
I have no comments. I'll make a motion to issue an order of conditions as discussed.
Driscoll second.
We have a motion by Courtney and a second by Ron Driscoll. Any other comments or questions from the commissioners? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to call a roll. Courtney?
Bird eye?
Ron?
Driscoll aye.
Steve?
Patton, aye.
Bowman, aye.
Bill?
Duffy, aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Robbins, aye. Okay, that's unanimous. We've issued the order of conditions for 34 Bridge Street. REDD LLC, 74 Edgewater Drive East, Falmouth, Massachusetts. Alyssa.
Yes, so this property was recently purchased and they're looking to do a septic upgrade. Partly in relation to the septic upgrade and also for insurance purposes, they are asking for many trees around the property to be removed. I think we're all in agreement that most of the tree removal certainly makes sense. There are a couple trees that staff would like to see if we can save. I do know that the applicant's representative was amenable to a site visit, so we can condition that prior to work taking place. We were also hoping that they could send the insurance report to really see if all 20 trees were truly necessary. I know someone had wondered why it wasn't a D-night. They are going to leave room to retrofit it should that be required in the future. This property is also subject to an open enforcement order that we alerted the new homeowner to in order to remediate that. There is a little bit of work still to take place. The abandoned boat and timber edging in that old garden area, any fill, ornamentals and invasives are to be removed and replanted with high marsh shrubs. Overall, it's not a very large area, so that's good. Most of the previous violation cutting has grown back in quite well. There's also a wooden deck platform on the north side of the house that we cannot find was permitted, so that is to be removed as well.
All right. Comments or questions? Steve?
Yes, I think this is a worthy project. I would be a lot more comfortable if the staff were able to meet with the representative on site. So there's so many trees to come down. And some of the trees, if they're simply coming down for insurance and not for conservation, they'll have to prove it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll have to find, so one of the conditions would be documentation on that. Yeah, okay.
Anybody else got anything?
Well, yeah, this is Dave. I definitely agree on the trees. I felt that there are a lot there that couldn't have been necessary for insurance. So I'd like the visit and the evidence of the insurance, what the insurance is saying. Because I think a lot of those trees are far enough away they're not insurance related, in my opinion. I'd like to see all that.
Ronnie.
I think a lot of them trees gotta go, even if it wasn't in the insurance policy. As a builder, I mean, if one of them trees comes down, it's gonna wreck the house, and there's some big oaks there. Not all of them, but a percentage of them, I think, have to go. Definitely
Yeah.
hazard liability there, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm not an expert. It seemed there might be some that don't need to. That's all. But you probably know more than I do, Ronnie.
I do.
Ron, sorry.
It sounds like we can condition.
I get the Ron and Ronnie thing mixed up.
I do too, Dave. Don't worry about it. Okay.
So I'll make a motion to issue an order of conditions as discussed.
Driscoll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Courtney and a second by Ron Driscoll to issue orders as discussed. And it sounds like it's all going to hinge on the insurance report.
We'll work with them.
That's a big thing. Okay. All right. So if there's no other comments or questions, I'm going to call the roll. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Ron,
Driscoll aye.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Dave,
Can't I?
and Robbins is an aye. Okay, we've voted to issue order of conditions for 74 Edgewater Drive, East Falmouth, as discussed. Oh boy, this is going to get me now. Nicholas Polacronis, is that it? 10 Central Ave, Falmouth. Alyssa.
Yes, so this project, first and foremost, is to construct an addition onto the back of the house, install a fence, and they were seeking after the fact approval for a shed and stone driveway. The shed is being relocated into a buffer where it does not require mitigation. The stone driveway is to be removed, so because there is not enough room for mitigation, instead they're going to be putting in some tire strips for a car to be parked. The strips do need to be relocated a bit through a revised plan, but I know that the applicant's representative is well aware of that. They are also reinstalling some plantings required through a previous order of conditions. Not many, just a handful there. The staff typically sees this commission require that violations are remedied prior to us signing off on a building permit for new construction. However, the applicant's representative did make an argument that in keeping the stone driveway where it is and not installing the plants right away, they will have access around to the back of the house and actually construct the addition. So up to the commission on how you would like to proceed there.
All right, Fallon.
Nothing from me. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, comments or questions?
I think it makes sense to allow them to keep the gravel driveway till they finish constructing the addition and then do that. They can do the other mitigation if they have to.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Anything else? Anybody else? All right, I guess I'm looking for a motion then.
I'll make a motion to issue an order of conditions as discussed.
Driscoll seconds.
Okay, we have a motion by Courtney and a second by Ron Driscoll to issue an order of conditions. Any other comments? Hearing none, I'm going to call a roll. Courtney?
Bird eye.
Ron?
Driscoll aye.
Steve?
Pat and I.
Ronnie?
Bowman, aye.
Bill?
Duffy, aye.
Dave?
Can't I?
And Robbins is an aye. All right, we voted to issue order of conditions for 10 Central Ave, Falmouth. All right, before we make that next motion, Alyssa, thank you very much. Good job tonight. Fallon, it was good seeing you here tonight. Thank you. All right, so how about that motion to adjourn?
So I'll make so move that we adjourn.
Pat second.
So we got a motion by Courtney, seconded by Steve. Robbins.
Bird eye.
Driscoll aye.
Pat and I.
Bowman, aye.
Duffy, aye.
Anti.
Is that everybody?
I think so.
Good
Meeting
night.
adjourned.